All right, if I could turn back time, what would I do different? Here's 5 things. My name is Greg, and you're watching How to Play Paintball. So before we get started, I wanted to say a huge thank you to Pro Edge for sponsoring this video. Be sure to click the link down in the description down below, take you over to their site. If you use Watch, Learn, Win on any of the Pro Edge equipment, you're gonna be able to get 25% off. So thank you to Pro Edge for sponsoring this video, and let's jump in. Okay, so there's some things that as you look back, you go, I wish I'd done that a little bit differently. And I wanted to go over a couple things that are gonna help you guys out. Maybe you're just starting your journey, wanting to eventually get into pro. Maybe you just wanna get better as a player, and you just want some tips, and that's what we're gonna go over today. All right, let's start with number 5. Ignore chasing sponsors. This is something that players seem to want to get these quote unquote sponsorship packages. A lot of times now in the industry, you're really not getting a true sponsorship. Now, if you want to go and get discounts on gear that you like, absolutely, go for it. I'm not saying not to not do that. What I am saying is some people think that, okay, I got on a team and now I need to make sure that I have this sponsor package. It's not really something that you need to worry about. Focus on going and playing. Having everyone in the same gear when you first start out with a team is really not that important. Now, if again, you wanted to work with your local field and do a sponsorship through that, where you can get maybe a little bit of a discount on entry or paint, then yeah, absolutely go for something like that. But some people want to go and get these full packages. It's really not necessary. You're just gonna end up spending extra money that is better suited for trying to get better as a team. And then later on down the road, absolutely go after those sponsors. But when you're first starting out, don't worry about chasing that. All right, tip number 4, don't ask pro players or sponsor players what gear to get. What do you think they're gonna tell you? So my recommendation for whenever someone's like, oh, what do you think of this? I mean, I've been sponsored by a lot of different companies. There's some stuff that was fantastic, some stuff that was not so great, and that's just the way that sponsorship goes. But when you're playing at a higher level, you kind of take the good with the bad. So don't go though to a pro player or like a really fully sponsored player and ask what gear should I get, because they're gonna tell you their sponsor. If they don't, they're a really bad sponsored player. So don't do that. Go try out the equipment. If it's a mask, if it's a loader, whatever, you know, a marker, try to hold it in your hand if you can. If it's a mask, try to put it on, see if it's comfortable for you, because something that is comfortable to me might not be comfortable to you. Like I mentioned before, I've used stuff that is not amazing and still had to not badmouth it while we were sponsored by them. But asking a pro player or like a really high-end semi-pro, like truly sponsored teams are not going to tell you to get something other than their sponsor's equipment. Just like with the ignoring chasing sponsors for yourself, just go and try it. See how it feels to you, because everyone is different. All right, let's jump into number 3. You need to understand that to get better in paintball, you have to get blown apart. That's just the only way to get better, is to constantly get shot and to improve, see what it is that you need to do better, all of that. It's not something that you can go and, okay, I'm just gonna watch a lot of videos or whatever. That's helpful, but really the only way to get better in this sport is to go out, play people that are better than you, and lose. It's honestly the only way to get better. The other thing with that is understand that when you lose at a practice, even at a tournament, you need to understand how do I take a step back, what happened, how do I adjust it, and then not let that happen again. Making a mistake once is okay. If you make it 2 times in a row, that's on you now. So mistakes are absolutely gonna happen. Just this past weekend, I made a move, I checked off, I didn't see anyone. I went back and watched the footage after I'd gotten shot, and I saw the person was moving up the Dorito side as I was moving. It wasn't that I made the wrong move, it wasn't that they made the right move. It was just the right move at the right time and the right move at the wrong time for me. So they made a move at the same time, and I was just right out in the open. And that kind of stuff is gonna happen. But I can understand that, okay, well, maybe if I had gone a little bit lower, could I have gotten out of the way of it? I'd have to go back and check. And that's all things that you can do just on your own. Of course, when you're playing better players than you, it really helps when you have someone that can, okay, here's what you did wrong with this or this. I have talked about it before. I remember going and practicing against Brian Smith on damage, and he would just like teleport in one-on-ones and then shoot me. And I'm like, I don't even understand how you did that. But it was like, oh, I just did this and this, and okay, yeah, and let's go again. It's that kind of stuff that's gonna help you. Let's get down to number 2. Don't worry about the latest gear and trends. You don't need to necessarily have the latest and greatest gear or follow the latest trend. I know I got sucked into this where it's like, oh, well, I wanna have these pants or I want this or this. And the stuff that I had was fine. Use that money that you are spending on this gear to look cool at the field on paint and get better. And then once you're a really good player and people want to sponsor you, now you get that stuff for free or super discounted. And it's something that will help you become a better player. Don't worry about, oh, do I have the latest frames for this goggle? Or do I have the latest and greatest insert equipment here? Understanding that getting better is more important than having the latest thing. There's always gonna be a new trend. There's always gonna be something that's coming out. If you are in the market for a new marker or a new loader or a new mask and then you want to look at some of the newer stuff, absolutely. But these people that go and buy something new every single week or every other week, it's like, you really don't need to do that. Go buy paint, get better. That's more important is winning, not looking cool with a bunch of paint on you because you got shot a bunch, but at least you look cool, right? Doesn't make any sense. Number 1, this is the thing that I wish if I could go back and do this would be the biggest thing that I would do as a player, and that's drill the way that I do now. I wish that I had someone that was able to teach me how is it that I can go and drill. What is it that I'm doing wrong? Those kinds of things make such a big difference in paintball that you don't, if you don't have it, you're not going to progress quickly. You will progress, and absolutely you're going to see improvements over time just from playing, but it's just like, if Michael Jordan wasn't out there doing a bunch of free throws, he's not going to be the player that he was, right? Like, he was out there constantly practicing. Paintball is no different. It's a sport just like any other sport. You have to put the time in to make sure that you are becoming a better player. If you don't do that, don't expect to be dominating at the field. If you're going out and making it where it becomes second nature, that you don't even need to think about, oh, my barrel needs to be probably about this high to shoot, and it just becomes second nature that you see someone, you can, perfect. That's what you want. You don't want to think about your fundamentals of the game. You want to be thinking about how is it that we can move and adjust on the field. So having those drills just makes it where it makes the game easier. So that is 5 things that if I could go back and talk to younger Greg, here's some tips for you. Here's what you need to do. It's going to help you out. Those would definitely be 5 that I would be looking at to tell myself. So tell me what you think down in the comments down below. If you aren't a member, please consider becoming one. I appreciate all the support from those that are already members. You get videos early and some other perks, or there's even a level just as a thank you. So thank you to those that are a part of that level. Also, a huge thank you to Pro Paintball for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description, take you over there. They have great deals on all the gear that you need. So again, thank you to Pro for sponsoring this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.